Downtown, I got that heat, let's go. Hey. What is going on, SMT Nation? June 22nd, 2020. I hope everybody is doing well. I got 9:32 p.m. at the Eastern Standard Time. Good to have you if you're watching this on the live. Good to have you if you're watching this on replay at a later time. I got 74 in the live currently as we do stream. Welcome to you all. I hope we had a great Monday. It's not always easy to have a good Monday. So if you did, congratulations. If you had a rough Monday, but it's ending better than the beginning of it, good. If you had a kind of day, that's usually how Mondays are, right? Anyways, I see tons of familiar faces. Well, tons of familiar names, familiar supporters of the SMT Nation members. We got Patreon members as well. I see you guys. I got my mod squad. Hashtag mod squad. If you got a blue name with a blue wrench and you bang the hammer. Anybody get out of line? See the mod squad. They'll take care of that. Big shout out to Pete. He's here. Maximus is here as well. Big shout out to Big Bob, the homie. Stacey's in the house. That's the mod squad thus far. Good to have you guys. I see a lot of patrons too. Up there's the homie Cova right there. He's part of the mod squad as well. My dude. I don't know if I got any other mods in there, but yeah. We'll wait for everybody to pile in. The estimated start time was supposed to be 9:30. We're here. We're starting, so we're good. I'm good with that. Just go ahead and enjoy the grooves and the silky smooth voice of the SMT. Yep. Hashtag SMT Sneed Army. For those of you that don't know, we got secondary tiers of the SMT Patreon page. Kind of like teams within the team. Specialized units within the team. Tyronecus, I'm happy. Hashtag no conference calls today. That's great news. Hey, Ronald, good to see you. Brennan, I see you as well. Lee County Scratcher, what's up, my dude? Alex, what's up, Al? I know you got your Verizon SIM today, and I know you had some high hopes. I'll kind of explain. I could definitely do that for you to kind of explain what you should be expecting from Verizon. I'm going to explain to pretty much everybody, and since you're trying them, just to guide you with that expectation, there's certain things that the Verizon network can and can't do. Believe you me, Verizon has its limitations. No carrier is perfect. I'll talk about that today, and actually, don't let me forget about it. What's up, handsome baller? YFS, my dude, what is up? Tarek, what is going on? A podcast with Joe. I could hang with Joey. I could hang with the Rogan man. I definitely could. He gets to talking all that craziness. I could definitely hang with the dude. The problem is, I don't do some of that extra stuff. So they be doing some extra stuff. I don't know. Darius, good to see you. Ronald, SMT third tier, absolutely. That would be the super SMT. Yes, indeed. Man, awesome. Thank you guys for supporting the SMT YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and give you guys updates on what's going on with the SMT Nation. Let's cover some community stuff, shall we? Let's go ahead and get started. So I want to formally welcome all of the SMT Nation to this podcast. If you're watching this on the live, hashtag 2LiveCrew. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag ReplayGang. I see you guys. You guys are the best. All right, whether in the live or on the replay, you guys are the best. So in the description box, we have a link to the Patreon page. We actually have 4 tiers now. We had 3. We upgraded. We added a 4th tier. Big shout out to Lawrence, Chanel 808 Life Hawaii. If you guys didn't check out the video, I did a live stream. He sent me a bunch of stuff, gifts from Hawaii. I want to give him a big shout out for that and thank him again for that. Amazing gift boxes, I should say. And he said, hey, why don't we make a new tier? Why don't we make a Sneed Army tier in the Patreon? And we did. So now we got 4 tiers. Anyways, here's what you get with each of those tiers. Tier 1 on the SMT Patreon, $1 single. That donation gets you access to all live streams, additional live streams and podcasts that we do on the Patreon. So we do 3 podcast live streams on the Patreon that are exclusive to Patreon. That $1 donation gets you access to those 3. You also get some early access to certain videos as well. You also get unique and exclusive content, a video or 2 that don't make it onto the YouTube side. They stay on the Patreon. So that's a lot for a $1 donation. Something additional to kind of add to the community. So then you have a $2 tier, which gives you not only the live streams, but it gets you also the early exclusives, but more of them. And so it's just like a next level, right? So it's a $2 tier. And it essentially gives you the next step up a little bit more from the $1 tier. Then there is the 3rd tier, the $3 tier, Super SMT, which gives you early access to all videos, all of the live streams, all of the exclusives, more so than the $2 tier. So each tier essentially gives you more access, right? And then we made the 4th tier, the the Sneed Army, which gives you everything from the first 3 tiers, but it also gives you the StreamYard link to join us in the exclusive podcast on Patreon. You can come on and hang out, ask a question, get involved in the discourse a little bit. We kind of rotate patrons actually into the podcast, in the live, in the video. So if those are things that you guys are interested in, you like the sound of that, you like what the YouTube channel has to offer, but want to take it one step further, there's a way to do it. The Patreon page. Link in the description box. I would like to welcome the newest member of the Patreon page, and I do believe he's either a Super SMT or a Sneed Army member, and that is Nathan S. Big shout out to him and welcome to him. And a big welcome back to Theodore, who was gone for like 3 days, so welcome back to him. Do me a solid, everybody watching, go ahead and hit the like button. Appreciate it very much so. And if you could share this to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platforms you do use, share it. Speaking of social media platforms, we do have a Twitter handle at SneedTech. We also do Periscope Lives built into the Twitter. So if you are looking to get more involved with the SMT community that way, at SneedTech on Twitter. And actually, if your YouTube notifications aren't working, and that seems to happen occasionally, then go ahead and follow us on Twitter and make sure you hit the notification icon so whenever I do tweet something, you can get notified of that. And I do tweet out all the videos, just in case people don't get them on YouTube. And, of course, the last thing we'll cover in the description box, the Megadon.net invite code. Megadon.net, the social media platform of the future. Never need another social media platform ever again. No ads, no algorithms, no tracking. Megadon.net. If you're sick and tired of being tracked and you don't want to be a part of these algorithms and be tossed around into these computer calculations and being all these recommends and all these things bombarded and having your social media security compromised, Megadon.net for you. It's there for you. All right, so let's start with some of the topics from today. I do see you guys there in the live chat. Go ahead and, throw the comments around, be a part of the discourse, the conversation. I know there's a lot of news going around in wireless. We'll cover a lot of that stuff today. Let's start first with Verizon news. Big Red. You guys know I call them Big Red. Big Red because they got all those subscribers. Big Red because they got the largest wireless network in the U.S. Big Red because they've been evil for a long time. I actually tend to think they're starting to get better. They're starting to get more consumer friendly, in my opinion. Anyways, they are jumping on the bandwagon. They announced this a while back, but this would be a follow-up to that item. Verizon is officially launching a credit card. So if you've always, in the back of your mind, wondered why didn't Verizon ever have their own credit card, now your dreams are coming true. Verizon has their own credit card. So if that's something you want, you can go ahead and get it with them. And there's actually some decent perks, actually. So the expected launch date for the Verizon credit card is June 26th. So that would be 4 days from today. So expect that. I'm guessing, I don't know, they'll put out a formal release either Thursday or Friday, and you can go ahead and apply for it. Apparently, they're giving out a ton of money for people that want to sign up for like a giveaway. So if that's something that interests you, do check out that. It is essentially Verizon's version of a Visa card, where you can earn savings and get different types of benefits and perks that are associated with the Visa Verizon card. It is actually financed through a well-known and popular bank, a large bank known as Synchrony Bank. I've done business with Synchrony before. Hey, Tech Love and Mama, good to see you. Synchrony is a bank that I've financed different things through, and they work with department stores and they work with other companies, and they're pretty well known. I'm not a big fan myself, but if the Verizon Visa card is something you're interested in, their rewards on purchases, they're doing like the typical Visa card stuff, right? They're doing like 1% on certain purchases, 2% back on certain purchases, and 3% on other ones, right? So spend money through this card and get some perks. But that's par for the course. That's pretty much how credit cards go across the market. They will have a dedicated app for the usage and the access of the Verizon Visa card. So if that interests you, check it out. There you go. All the facts there. Next piece of news. This one also out of Verizon. Verizon 5G news, to be a little bit more specific. I'll be talking more about this in tomorrow's video. I will be dropping a video tonight. Early access for the patrons. And it'll be coming out to the YouTube family a little bit later. But everybody will see it. Big news for Verizon. DSS testing trials are in progress, ongoing, and they are a success. Big Red scores a win in dynamic spectrum sharing. This is a really, really important technology for a company like Verizon. It's also really important for a company like AT&T. It's not really important to T-Mobile right now. And I'll explain why in a second. Anyways, the testing, the successful testing that they're reporting took place in 2 states. The first was Texas, the second Minnesota. Now, here's why Texas and Minnesota make a little bit of sense. Number 1, DSS testing has already started with AT&T. They started theirs. It was either last week or the week before. I forget when I did that video. But North Texas had AT&T's field testing of dynamic spectrum sharing. So it makes sense that the companies that are involved and the vendors that are involved for both the hardware and the software side here, they're probably ongoing testing for AT&T and Verizon. Now they're probably doing it together, collectively in the same geographic location. Now the Minnesota piece is interesting because of one key reason. For those of you that remember the millimeter wave launch for 5G for Verizon, there were 2 cities. The first was Chicago, which makes total sense because the first 5G hardware was Motorola. They had the Moto Z3 or Z4, and then they were using like the Moto mod, which had the 5G antennas inside the mod. That was in Chicago, and Motorola's headquarters in the U.S. are in Chicago. Anyways, besides Chicago, also Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Verizon is testing and successfully testing DSS in Texas simultaneously while AT&T is doing that. And then they're also successfully testing in Minnesota, where they have a history of deploying 5G technology successfully there. So that's kind of the connection there. Anyways, the technology of DSS and the way that this works is, in the testing, Verizon was actually able to use LTE and 5G new radio technology utilizing the same band of spectrum. It was a low-band spectrum, and this is telling because this is essentially what Verizon is going to be doing for the next couple of years. DSS is going to be really important because until Verizon gets new spectrum, this is the only way they're going to get nationwide 5G. And the same could actually be said about AT&T. The reason I say T-Mobile is different because T-Mobile is dedicating 2.5 gigahertz completely for their 5G. They won't be needing DSS until they're ready to go band 2 with their PCS spectrum to go DSS. And they're not pressed for it because they have so much spectrum. You guys got to keep in mind, Verizon has like 117 megahertz of sub-6 gigahertz spectrum. AT&T has 167 megahertz. And then T-Mobile's got like over 300 megahertz. So they've got tons of spectrum. They can dedicate spectrum specifically for 5G and not really have to be worried about dynamic spectrum sharing, because dynamic spectrum sharing is going to reduce the need to refarm, decommission LTE, refarm it to 5G, or if, decommission from 3G to 5G, whatever's going on, they don't have to worry about that. So they're cooking and building out their 5G, not worried about DSS right now. So I will explain more about the testing and what Verizon was doing in the video tomorrow. Patrons, you'll get it later on tonight. So I'll explain how they did their testing, which companies were involved, and how exactly that played out for their testing. Let's see here. Oh, next piece of news. This one actually coming out of, I think it was T-Mobile. Yeah. T-Mobile news. Got some T-Mobile news for you guys. What would an SMT podcast be without some T-Mobile and Sprint merger or T-Mobile news or something like that, right? What's up, Mav? Aloha. T-Mobile Sprint news. Bad news. More job cuts. More employee eliminations. Sprint employees have been given the axe. This round of job cuts is estimated to be over 240 job layoffs, specifically at the Sprint headquarters in Overland Park, Kansas. For those of you that are unaware, T-Mobile's headquarters are in Bellevue, Washington, Pacific Northwest. And then in the central part of the U.S. in Kansas, in Overland Park, is where Sprint has their headquarters. So more job cuts, more eliminations, more layoffs. Go ahead and add that to your tally. 241, I believe, was the estimation. What's interesting about these job cuts, though, is these job cuts were actually documented and these documents submitted to state regulators. I wonder why. Looks like T-Mobile is being monitored, in my opinion. And I think what's going on here is they're being monitored both in the short term and in the long term. Now, the reason I'm saying they're being monitored in the short term is it's like a running tally. They're just counting how many people are eliminated from the Sprint side of this merger, because part of what John Legere sold regulators, part of what Marcelo sold regulators, was the fact that the new T-Mobile had much more potential for supporting economic stability and jobs if it was a merged synergistic company. And John's gone and Marcelo is gone. So what's left? We've got CEOs and the elimination of a company, essentially, and there's not really any accountability. So what regulators can do is they can document and count and tally and track how many jobs are eliminated from the Sprint side to see if indeed the new T-Mobile does create more jobs for the individuals that were employed by Sprint previously. So by getting the approval from from regulators and making deals with certain states, there should be some job created movement for certain states with certain deals. Now, here's why this is a problem. Texas made a deal with the new T-Mobile. Nevada made a deal with the new T-Mobile. California, New York made deals with the new T-Mobile. Those deals that they made could be for job creation, could be moves for guarantees of data centers and call centers for the company, different things that would be helping the state specifically in the job market, infrastructure areas. I know California, they got one heck of a deal in which they're really going to put the squeeze on the T-Mobile network. 300 plus megabits per second on the home broadband and whatnot. All that stuff built into there. So the states that made deals like that, those states will be benefiting the most from any type of growth within the new T-Mobile company. That means in other states, that's not going to happen. So we're expecting job losses in those states, and then job creation whenever they are making those new jobs and they are hiring and all of that. They're going to go to the states that insured and locked in deals, because if they don't hold up their end of the bargain, they're going to get sued. So some laid off employees are being offered the same position after reapplying with the new T-Mobile. Some have been told to apply for different positions within the company. So essentially, yeah, you could stay on, but you got to get a different position. We have too much redundancy. All right, so they'll keep them, but you got to do something else. And then the other option that they gave some individuals there that were fired, they told them, seek a career change. I got to ask, why would you have to tell people that just got laid off, make a career change? They don't want to hear that. That's not supportive. Now, they are saying that some people, the company is going to try to help them find a job. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means they're going to do. I have no idea. I don't know if they actually will. I don't know if they won't. I have no clue. How do I know? Unless those individuals are subscribed to my channel and can tell me what they did for them, or can reach out to me on Twitter and let me know, then I have no idea. Before I kind of wrap this up, let me just say this, and Cesar, thanks for the super chat, and I'll get to you in a second. The merger life, what we're seeing with the merger, this is very typical of a merger. There's nothing strange happening here. Almost like there's nothing to see, right? This is par for the course when it comes to merger. There's redundant positions. There's redundancy in the departments. You have to trim the fat. You're going to eliminate the jobs. And if the company does require to create new jobs in the future, they will. But ultimately, jobs will be lost and sacrificed in the attempt for the company to become more profitable and operate in the green. They're in the business of making money. They're not in the business to lose money. So, yeah. But the bottom line, we cannot forget, Sprint was a company that was flailing and failing. The network was lagging behind the market, could not compete with the likes of Verizon for network performance and network availability, could not compete with AT&T under those same measurables. T-Mobile was growing at an exponential rate, siphoning customers from Sprint for whatever reason, coverage, whatever, I don't know. Sprint had the growth and T-Mobile had the growth and Sprint didn't have the growth. Their market share was shrinking pretty much all the time. In fact, they really couldn't gain any customers for I don't know how many years it's been since they actually showed growth in the market in terms of market share. T-Mobile's been doing all the growth, right? The business itself is pretty mature, and whether it's Sprint's name brand, right, the name doesn't strike people as an attractive option, or it's the performance of the network, or whatever. Maybe it's the lack of customer care. I've heard that from people. Maybe it's the CEO. Maybe it was the business model. Maybe it was the approach. Maybe it was the culture. Maybe it was the executives. Maybe it was the management. Maybe it was store operations. Maybe it was call centers. Maybe it was everything. All I know is that Sprint was failing and flailing, trying anything, and it just didn't work. They changed their marketing to all carriers have the same network performance. We're just cheaper, so buy our service. It was getting pathetic. And executives from rival carriers were saying we weren't responding to anything Sprint was doing. They testified in court to Judge Victor Marrero saying Verizon would do a move, they would run a promo, and nobody would respond. They did not fear Sprint. And you could identify all the way back to the early to mid-2000s and see that Sprint had trouble starting with horrible investments, poor execution, a business model that was starting to fail, CEOs hired and fired, business visions that were not carried out properly or executed, and then SoftBank, and just it was not working. The reinvestment wasn't there, too little, too late. They wanted out. So you can't really be mad at T-Mobile for being opportunistic. Under this administration, given this timing, the nature that Sprint was approaching bankruptcy, or they were going to become a complete, regional carrier, no longer being able to really provide national coverage. They were downsizing. They were losing jobs every year. Stores were closing every so often. It was just a matter of time. Yeah, the documentary is on Patreon, absolutely. The documentary is there. So I wasn't trying to pour it on. I'm just saying that everybody's mad at T-Mobile for axing the jobs and all this. You can be. It sucks to see this. You care about people. But it was simply because Sprint couldn't hold its own on its own. Right? So at the end of the day, it's all Sprint's fault. They are the architects of their dismantling. It goes all the way back to the Nextel purchase and the inability to properly execute network vision. And, they weren't able to compete with LT because they got a late start trying to do WiMAX. And there were compatibility issues with the IDEN technology from Nextel and the poor business execution and the CEO failures and the stores and the lack of customer care. And it was just all over the place. T-Mobile just took advantage of the situation. Can't be mad at them for that. You could be mad at them for cutting jobs, sure. But is it really their fault? They're just doing what's done in a merger, I guess. Cesar with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you for that, my dude. I just hope that Verizon goes big on the C-band spectrum in December. I'd like them to get more mid-band spectrum. Cesar, thank you for the super chat, and I want to say, I agree. I would like to see Verizon with that spectrum because I trust Verizon to really build out a great 5G network because they completely hit a grand slam with LTE. They need more spectrum. They kind of deal with their congestion issues by just having the most towers in the nation. Literally, they just have the most tower sites, right? So they offload a lot of traffic just by density, right? Tons of towers everywhere. As for like them getting all that C-band, I say go ahead. I mean, I'd like to see them get a lot of it because I trust them to deploy it properly, correctly, and quickly. That's the most important thing. Verizon's the company I would trust. The other would be AT&T because both of them are big money and both of them have the sites. I mean, they've got it, you know. And it's not like I'm rooting for someone evil. It's really not about that. It's just the fact that I trust them to do the most with the network. So I think that's kind of where we're looking at it the same way, Cesar. Ooh, the other Cesar Barajas, $2 super chat. Thank you for that. What is the best carrier in San Diego? In my opinion, the best thing to do is, well, here's something you could do before you even get started. Go to the Root Metrics report for the last 2 years. Not even, the last year. As recent as this quarter or this half. Go to Root Metrics, look up the San Diego market, and look to see all of the measurables for San Diego, Cesar. And if you want, if somebody can provide a link to rootmetrics.com, you can access all the testing, and you guys can see how your market scored, and if it's something, that you feel is accurate, check it out. I can tell you right now, Root Metrics, in my experience, has been very accurate. In markets where T-Mobile is very good, Root Metrics says they are. In markets where T-Mobile is more congested, it reflects that in their testing. Same thing with Verizon. In markets where Verizon is congested, AT&T seems to have the most capacity. It works. A lot of people can confirm to me that it is accurate. And everybody's like, oh, carriers pay money to have their, Root Metrics score. Yeah, because Root Metrics is not going to do it for free. They have to pay their employees to drive around and collect data. So it's not that they're paying to get a better score. They're paying to have their score calculated. Big shout out to Gene, $2 super chat. No comment, no question, just being really nice and offering a donation. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for that. I can tell you though, Cesar, in my experience, I took my Verizon service to San Diego. It wasn't extremely fast, but it was reliable. I didn't have any issues in coverage. I had coverage everywhere. I believe there's enough low band there to really get the coverage in. I don't know about the capacity. At the time I was running the OG Pixel, I don't know. I think I was seeing like an average of 30 to 40 megabits per second. We are talking about 3 years ago, so it's been a while. So, like I said, check Root Metrics, check with other people, get some opinions from them, and then maybe do your own testing if you feel so compelled to do so. Hey, the homie Big Joe, what is up, my dude? Hey, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it very much. I'm waiting to see a full-fledged operating 5G low band would look like because they're strong now. I agree. I think the DSS is a good option for Verizon for now. I think as well as AT&T. They are going to be refarming stuff for 5G though, like expect band 5 to go NR. I don't know about band 13, but I know band 5. Expect Band 2, which is PCS. Expect AWS as well. Band 4, Band 66. They'll be going DSS as well, which means they'll all be part of Verizon's plan long-term for DSS and getting nationwide 5G within the next year or two. The C-band is something different. The CBRS, the LAA, all of that stuff, all that's going to be used, I think, also in DSS. But those are the things that I think we can expect to see. I know some people are not big fans of millimeter wave. I can tell you guys right now, it is a fun connection to test. I really do enjoy testing it. It's pretty awesome. Eli, thank you for the super chat. I see you had a question also. What do you think will happen with grandfathered data plans on Verizon? Nothing. I don't think anything's going to happen to Verizon's grandfathered data plans. I think traditionally, what we've seen is the pricing has stabilized, and they're not bumping up pricing for anybody anymore. So hopefully that doesn't change anytime soon. We don't want to see them continue to bump up pricing all the time, trying to force people out of those plans and make them pay premiums. I mean, enough is enough. They've raised grandfathered data plans like 3-4 times over the last decade. Enough is enough. So I'm hoping that they won't change anything and they'll just keep those prices and those offers available to those people that have them because they like them. Lawrence, thanks for the donation, man. You appreciate you, man. You didn't have to do that. Sorry, but you never. How your life will like. Oh, she loved it. Lawrence, my wife loved everything. We've been eating the peanuts. We've been eating the chocolate. The pancakes were delicious. Bro, it was a great gift box. Thank you for everything, Lawrence. You're so kind, man. Appreciate the thought. Yeah, it was like 3 years ago when I was testing it, Info Assistant. So, yeah, it was the OG Pixel. I did like that phone. Randy says, I just switched to T-Mobile and got the OnePlus 8 for half price. That's a pretty good deal. Did you have to trade in a phone, Randy? Wondered. TomTom, yeah, Boost will be dishes prepaid. TomTom says, no N600 was from... Oh, okay. That means they're beaming it. All right, let's see what else is going on here. I think I saw some from Caleb. Root metrics is GOAT. I like root metrics. I think the data is collected well. I think it's real world, like it's legitimate. I also think it's collected very systematically. I think it's organized well. I think the website is awesome. It shows you some really important metrics like video performance and latency, downlink, uplink speeds, average, median. They've got all these different metrics. It's great. I love it. Love it. Let's see who else I got. Yeah, Trailboy Gaming. I think root metrics is awesome. And to me, I think it's a reliable way of testing, honestly. My personal opinion. You know, you use whoever you want to get your information. It's up to you. If you think there's something wrong with root metrics, then go elsewhere for your information. But, you know. Darius with the very nice, kind, generous super chat donation. Thank you for that, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Next mid-band city. Which carrier, Darius? If you're talking T-Mobile, I think it's going to be a big market. A Chicago, the Miamis of the world, LA needs it. Any area that is a large market that suffers from T-Mobile congestion. Maybe they need new sites, more sites. Maybe they just need to deploy the spectrum. Got you, Randy. Added a new line. Got you. Okay. So yeah, Darius, I think in the case of T-Mobile, you're probably looking at some big cities, right? So the Chicagos of the world, Miami, Houston, I think is game. LA as well. Dallas-Fort Worth. It's a big region. Some other larger, maybe Baltimore. Philadelphia is getting worked on right now as we speak. You know, I'm kind of thinking along those lines. Vegas, I think, could see an upgrade because from what I understand, from what Carlos tells me, his feedback and testing, they're suffering from congestion. Network's slowing down. Can Boost be made into a postpaid brand and forget Dish making their own? I mean, yeah, I guess they could rebrand Boost to a postpaid and then just rebrand their prepaid as something else. I mean, I don't think you would do that. I think Boost Mobile could work, in my opinion. Humberto says, hey, what's going to happen with Sprint stores? Some are being converted to T-Mobile stores and others are being shut down. That's pretty much what's happening there. Yeah, like Tim R was saying, Sprint stores, T-Mobile stores will consolidate into locations under the new T-Mobile brand. Yes, that is correct. Lavendi says, do you think the uncarrier is over? I really do, Lavendi. I 100% do. The uncarrier as we know it is gone because I think it was John. As much as we want to give Mike Seaver credit for being a part of the development of certain uncarrier moves, he himself is not the uncarrier because he answers to Deutsche Telekom, which has changed their approach to business. They are no longer going to take the underdog role. They are no longer going to try to woo customers to join their network. In actuality, they probably have more customers than they can handle right now until they boost the network. So in my opinion, yeah, the uncarrier is gone. We're seeing certain fees that are being applied to certain transactions in the business. We're seeing that, jobs are being terminated and eliminated. Those are not uncarrier things. So in my opinion, John's gone. John left. John saw the writing on the wall. It was just, he had to go. And he knew what the time was with these moves. Big shout out to Dave Beast Tech, a big supporter of the channel, one of the original subscribers, supporters, longtime Patreon member, cool dude and a very nice guy and a friend of mine. Verizon $65 prepay unlimited jetpack home net replacement. So is that what you're using now, Dave? Because I want to say you were with Ting for a while, so I'm guessing maybe this is going to be kind of like your home internet, possibly. Will the Galaxy S20 Ultra be a good long-term phone for a merger of the Sprint? Yes. Any type of S20 device, Ultra, Plus, or regular S20, that's about as merger-proof as you can get. It's also 5G-proof as far as you can get for now. So, yeah, I'd recommend that device if you can afford it. Sure. Eli, I did answer the question about the grandfathered lines for Verizon. Nothing should be changing anytime soon. Hey, Michael, good to see you, man. Crashing after merging is understandable. Hiding the details of the truth is not okay. I agree. But I think they just want to avoid the liability. I don't think they want to admit what happened or what they couldn't figure out initially. So I think that's the situation. Is AT&T and Cricket going to close all the stores or some stores? They're closing some stores, 100%. It looks like the economy / pandemic has really taken a toll on the business operations. Plus, they've got a lot of debt as a company, AT&T, so they're trying to trim the fat, as they say. I think the estimation was that 250 stores between AT&T and Cricket Wireless would be closing. So, yeah, we can definitely expect that. The economy, the pandemic, online shopping now being so prominent, I think it was just a matter of time till they did that. Yeah, Pete, he beat you, but barely, man. You guys are right around the same time. Lavendi says, do you know if John shared any of his enormous merger bonus with the employees? I would say he probably didn't. It's true. Lavendi's a spade is a spade. Calling it like it is. He banked on the merger, like 70+ million to close that deal. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. It's just, I mean, that's a lot of money for putting people through the ringer. I mean, maybe you could throw them a bone, right? Let's see here. The S20 Ultra will do 5G on any of the big 4 networks. Yes, that is correct. I guess we'll call it the big 3 now, right, Tim? We got to make that adjustment. Sprint released the LG V60. Yeah, so as long as it's going to be unlocked for use on T-Mobile, then I'm cool with that. Or maybe it's already kind of activated that way. I'm not sure. Sean says the regular S20 only supports sub-6 GHz 5G, whereas the S20 Plus and Ultra support millimeter wave. So, Sean, that is true. The thing about the AT&T T-Mobile configurations for those phones, they're only going to be doing low band, right? So even with the millimeter wave, the Plus and the Ultra, you wouldn't be taking advantage of it on either of those networks. I think the millimeter wave on the AT&T would probably work, but I mean, it's just, I've tested T-Mobile's 5G millimeter wave and it's not good. and it's hard to connect to. So yeah, focus on the sub-6 GHz if you're a T-Mobile customer. Nicholas says, will iPhone 12 Pro Max support 5G? I think we're going to see 5G iPhones. I'm pretty sure. Being that the phones are likely going to be delayed, that might be part of the delay, which is good in a way because it'll ensure that they'll be 5G ready. Handsome Baller said, have you heard any more about T-Mobile trying to change a lot of people's legacy plans? I don't know what's going on with that, man. I hear something every once in a while. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to do something on carrier, which is if you have a simple choice plan, they're not going to let you upgrade your phones or add lines that are not Magenta-based lines or Essentials or Magenta Plus. So they're already trying to streamline everybody to the newer plans. So legacy plans, they're trying to get people out of them. They won't cancel you. But if you're trying to change your lines or add lines, they're not going to let you do it unless you get out of that plan. Philip asks, how did AT&T get all this debt? Bad purchases, bad acquisitions. Just get things started. The failed merger with T-Mobile in 2011. They had to give up Spectrum to T-Mobile. They had to give them $3 billion. I mean, it was bad. It was a setback. All the court costs. The appeal, whatever, I don't know what went into it. They also purchased DirecTV in 2015. That was a failure. I'm trying to remember how much that was. Was it like 50? I forget. How much was the DirecTV? DirecTV. Let me actually search this. AT&T DirecTV deal. Oops, that's not what I was looking for. DirecTV merger. I don't know if it was a merger or an acquisition. It was a... Looks like it was just a purchase. It was a transaction valued at $67 billion. So DirecTV was $67 billion. Now let's go ahead and complicate things. The Time Warner deal was like $100 billion. So that in and of itself, there's tons of debt right there. So yeah, Philip, tons of debt. And they're just going to have to try to reduce that. And they haven't been able to do so at a decent level lately, which is why their ex-CEO, Randall Stevenson, is now gone. And John Stankey is the new CEO, which I believe he was running the media side, Time Warner media side. Yep, RIP Sprint, indeed. Totally agree. Yeah, I agree, Philip. Things always get jacked up in a merger. 100%. Totally agree. Hey, you're welcome, Lavendi. Glad you're enjoying the show. Michael says, no one is attracted to T-Mobile now. No effort to please customers. Poor offers, poor network coverage, poor advertising efforts. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of the things you put in there. No effort to please customers. I mean, they try. I don't know if it's if it's that extreme. Poor offers. I think they're pretty competitive. I do think the network has some shortcomings that could be addressed. The advertising, I definitely see their ads. Maybe you're just not a fan of the type of ads they're running, possibly. I don't know. Cesar with the super chat. Thank you for that. Cesar B. I bought the new OnePlus 8 5G with Sprint. Is it merger proof phone? Yeah. So you should be good there. whatever updates you'll need will be coming over the air, and you should be future proof. You're good to go. That's a nice phone, by the way. Let's see here. Yeah, Richard, I'd say they're pretty merger proof. I agree. OnePlus 8 Pro back in stock. Sucks not on carriers. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they might as well carry it, right? What is it? What are they selling it for? $899 or something? It's a pretty nice phone, man. What's up, Obed? Just jumped on me here. Boost 5G is coming tomorrow, according to network management site. Yeah, I heard about that, Texo. So that means band 71 NR and what's the other one? And band 41 NR. So yeah. Sneed flexing his multi-monitor setup. Yeah, I got one here and I got one there, and I really don't use that one. That one's just for like settings, and then this one is where I'm looking at and I'm watching stuff. So yeah, I agree, Philip. Bad deal. I think DirecTV was more. I think it was like 61 billion, Pete. 71 billion? 67 billion a transaction. So bad. It is a lot of money, man. Wild second video. I like to buy your channel. How much you got, bro? How much you got? You say you want to buy the channel? How much money you got? Let's see how much you got. Oh, and by the way, I have to confirm with the SMT Nation if I'm selling the channel. I don't know, man. If they say no, I can't sell the channel. But let's hear what you got to say. Let's hear your offer. Sneed my super chat. I think I got it, Cesar, right? I got you. Okay, thanks, bro. Appreciate the super chat, my dude. Wild second video channel is like 1.5 million. At least, bro. At least. Yeah, I agree, Infosys. And if you're trying to get into 5G on the low, that's the best option right now. Do customers with AT&T and Cricket have to move to T-Mobile? No. Why would they? They don't have to move to T-Mobile. They can stay with who they got. Hey, Sneed, my mom has a Samsung S10 Plus with Sprint. Will her service be terminated at some point? No. The S10 Plus will be completely compatible on the T-Mobile network. Won't be 5G compatible. The phone should be good to go. You might get an update or something when the network needs to kind of be reconfigured for that phone, but that's probably it. And if you're financing it, maybe it has to be unlocked. I don't know, which they'll probably have to do. So, all right. Darius says $8.99 for 128 gigs, $9.99 for the 256. Got you. Okay. AT&T should have stuck to the wireless side. That's really their most profitable side, and it's really their most effective side. It's a strength for them. The media side is weak. They're not doing very well there. What's up, Tony Phony Baloney? D-Gaff, what is up, my dude? Can't sell nothing out this piece. Hey, the Patreon members, the community has spoken. The channel's not for sale. SMT, Peter for AT&T, would you consider a cell booster as a good investment? That is, usually it's not necessary, Michael. Is AT&T weak in your area and you want to use it as your provider? I always tell people, before you go buying boosters and antennas and additional equipment, try to find a carrier that just offers good service by your house. That's always going to be better and cheaper in the long term whenever you're trying to make sure that you have good service at home. So check that out before you go making any type of large investments on additional technology and hardware. Texo, I agree, man. They are expensive. I think you'll be surprised in the coming months. We will have some 5G phones hovering around that $600 mark. So hang tight. We'll see what we have on the market in the near future. You'll have to watch it on the replay, Tony Phony Baloney, because we covered a lot of stuff. What's up? What's up here? Got my S20 on sale for $720. That's pretty good. Used or new? I mean, if that's new, that's a great price. If it's used, I'd say that's probably fair. Yes, 1.5 million US dollars. Yes. Sprint Sims are whitelisted for locked T-Mobile phones. Great. Okay, so good to know. Thanks for that, Lawrence. Appreciate you. Got my LG K51 for $72. Now they have a special for that device for $29.99. Is that for a port-in deal or an upgrade? Hey, Michael, I ain't selling it, man. I'll keep it. Well, that's a really good deal, Sean. Well done. T-Mobile sucks lately. Jeez. All right, GS. Maverick says, if you recall, it was also said that T-Mobile will just be like the big red and blue. That also turned out to be true. Okay. Simple Mobile doesn't get marketed like it should. It's hard to advertise the big money that the carriers spend. The big carriers, the big three. They got the revenue. They've got dedicated dollars for advertising and marketing. The prepaid carriers really can't do it unless they're owned and operated by the big carriers. GS, I could tell you that I've been struggling with the T-Mobile network as well. Speeds are slower. Uploads have been greatly reduced. I'm seeing 3G and HSPA icons. I've been having problems with it too. The network integration process with Sprint has been an absolute nightmare. The network has just been all over the place. Gene asks, could AT&T spin off Cricket to its own business? I mean, it is its own business. It's not really a situation near where it needs to be spun off. The Heat magazine just got an iPhone 11 Pro for $350. Wow. I think that's a really good deal. Because 11 Pros are, what, like $1,000 brand new? Wow. Simple is owned by TracFone. They're huge. They can advertise. So maybe we should be expecting more from them. Tim says they're important, all of those Sprint customers directly with roaming, of course. Getting slower. Yeah. This is Coke Zero Cherry. Coke Zero Cherry. That's what I'm rolling with. And it is delicious. I do like Cherry Pepsi too. No sale. Do not sell the channel. This means future education. Yeah, but if I sold it for $1.5 million, I mean, she's set, right? That's kind of a shortcut of where I'm trying to go. The LG K51 is compatible with the new enhanced network, which is T-Mobile. Okay. Simple Mobile, not owned by TracFone. All right, let's look it up. Simple Mobile. Who owns Simple Mobile? All right, let's click on the company. It's owned by America Mobile. Headquarters is Irvine, California, founded in 2009. It is not owned by TracFone. So, yeah. Let's check the website. Simple Mobile. 25% coupon. Woohoo. Father's Day deals. Wait a minute. It is owned by TracFone. It says right here at the bottom of the page. TracFone Wireless Incorporated Simple Mobile. So it is owned by TracFone. Oh, wow. Okay, so American Mobile is the parent company. TracFone is also the operating business. Okay. American Mobile is track phone, yeah. Yeah, Joe, exactly. Alright, good to know. Crap phone. Cricket was bought by AT&T a few years ago. Man, Sean, that was a while ago. I remember when they bought Cricket, and then it became their prepaid brand. Thank you, Max. Appreciate that. American Mobile owns TracFone and its subsidiaries. Indeed. All right, so the live stream went for... Where are we at in terms of duration? We're over an hour. I think that's a good place to close this out. So, let's go ahead and thank some people, shall we? Let's go ahead and first thank... let's thank everybody for being here to watch, right? Let's thank the SMT communities. Let's thank, I don't know, we got the SMT Patreon page. We could thank the patrons. We could thank the YouTube community, all the subscribers, viewers, people that share the video, people that like the videos, rate them. Big shout out to you guys. Let me go ahead and thank the Mod Squad. So hashtag Mod Squad if you got a big blue wrench and you bang it when you gotta bang it. Big shout out to the 2 Live crew. Go ahead and hashtag that if you watch this in the live. Also, let's hashtag replay crew for those that watch this at a later time. Big shout out to you guys. And if you watch this while you are eating or you are hungry, hashtag ravioli gang. Big shout out to you guys. Let's go ahead and make sure that if this is your first time here and you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT and you never miss a podcast notification from the SMT. And I just want to take another moment to, again, promote the Patreon page. We've got like 82 members of the Patreon. The community is growing. You definitely want to get on that now. Join the team now before it's too late. The takeover is among us. So the link is in the description box. $1, $2, $3, and $5 tiers. And of course, I thank you all for watching this edition of the SMT podcast. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your continued support. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night and a great day. And I'll let you guys ride out to the music, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. You. You guys thought I left. Well, ha! Yeah!